Welcome back to African Names, African Stories, The Untold Origins. This is African Affairs Network Television, and today we set sail west of Central Africa, to a two-island nation with one of the most beautiful names in Africa, Sao Tome and Príncipe. But this poetic name has roots in religion, colonization, and the Atlantic slave trade. Let's explore the name, and the story behind the saints. In the 1470s, Portuguese sailors were exploring the Gulf of Guinea. They came upon two uninhabited islands, volcanic, lush, and strategically located for trade. Being devout Catholics, the Portuguese had a habit of naming places after the day of discovery on the Christian calendar. So, the first island was spotted on December 21st, the feast day of St. Thomas, Tome. They named it Sao Tome, St. Thomas. The second island was found a few days later and named Príncipe, meaning the prince, in honor of the Portuguese prince who funded the voyage, Prince Afonso. By the early 1500s, these islands became sugar plantation hubs, but they needed labor, and thus began a dark chapter. Sao Tome and Príncipe became a slave transit station. Enslaved Africans were brought from the mainland, mostly from present-day Angola and Gabon. The sugar industry boomed under brutal conditions. The islands were also used to season slaves before sending them to the Americas. So while the name sounds holy, it's haunted by forced labor and colonial exploitation. In 1975, Sao Tome and Príncipe gained independence from Portugal, and unlike many African nations that renamed themselves after ancient empires or ethnic roots, this island nation kept its colonial name. Why? The name was already internationally known. There was no major indigenous population at discovery, as the islands were uninhabited, and the name had become part of the national identity, even if born of colonization. So when you say Sao Tome and Príncipe, you're naming two islands, two histories, one memory of a saint and a prince. But beyond that, you're honoring a people who turned a history of pain into poetry, independence, and beauty. Next stop, we head to the heart of Africa, to a nation named after its location, literally, Equatorial Guinea. This is African Affairs Network Television, and this is African Names, African Stories, The Untold Origins.